gracious good day to one and all once again. 'Tis I, Norton the First, by grace of God, Emperor of the United States and Protector of Mexico, back with you once again for episode number 118 of Emperor Norton's fantastic history vlog. Today is August 14, 2020, our 150th day under COVID-19 restrictions. So let's talk a little bit about that, because this vlog began on March 19 of this year, about 3 days into COVID-19 restrictions. We do not truly know the scope of this pandemic at the moment because of inadequate testing. And so we are calling upon you, our loyal subjects, to follow the advice of the experts. Do not listen to politicians for news about this. Do not listen to your neighbors. Rumors are spreading. The only people you should be listening to at the moment are the experts, the doctors. They know what they're talking about. They do not have an agenda. And we thought we'd just be doing it for maybe a month or two, but well, things didn't quite work out that way, did they? Let's talk about that a little bit. On March 16, the first day of COVID-19 restrictions here in San Francisco, nationwide in the U.S., we stood at 4,226 cases and 14 deaths. As of today, in the U.S., we are at 5,443,129 cases, and 170,817 Americans have passed away due to COVID-19. Thomas Jefferson said, "The first duty of government is the protection of life, not its destruction. Abandon that, and you have abandoned all." And I think that's where we're at now. We don't like to do too many rants on this vlog about the current state of American politics, but we feel it is necessary given the significant day we're in today. Thousands are literally dying every day in the United States due to COVID-19, and this was all preventable. Had this pandemic been taken seriously back in February, things would be very different today. But it never has been taken seriously, both by this administration as well as our government and many citizens of the empire. We are not happy about this. The message from day one has been deny, deny, deny. 15 cases, we'll get it down to 0. It'll go away. It'll just disappear. Well, it's not just disappearing. And the inaction of our government is responsible for those deaths. We are getting mixed messages every single day from this administration. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Social distance, don't social distance. Take this drug, it'll work. Take this drug, it'll work. Have some bleach, put it on your body, whatever. These are deadly, deadly suggestions and deadly leadership, which has resulted in the deaths of many. It's not just going to go away. We've demonstrated that pretty clearly. But as if the mixed messages and the inaction of this administration have not been enough, then we have what I refer to as COVIDiots out there, and I will not mince words about this. People who believe it is a hoax, will not wear a mask, considers it government intrusion. Well, so are speed laws and not sidewalks, pedestrian crossings and stop signs and things like that. Wearing seat belts. People who are not wearing masks at this point and are not social distancing are murderers in our Imperial opinion. And we really believe that. Unfortunately, we do not see much in the way of optimism of that changing anytime in the near future. It's not just going to go away, as we said. And then we have the anti-vaxxers that even if a vaccine becomes available, will not take it, which destroys the whole concept of herd immunity. Gatherings, we have that big motorcycle rally still going on. 250,000 people with no social distancing, no masks, nothing. Those people are going to be carrying the disease back to their communities and infecting other people. They are murderers. We absolutely believe that. So, where are we left at this point? Well, certainly no leadership, but we are pleading with our loyal subjects to please be unified. Address this with one voice. Do the things that are necessary to save lives. And that's what this is all about at this point, is saving lives, not seeing people suffer needlessly. Speaking of suffering needlessly, our Congress went into recess until September instead of dealing with the unemployment crisis. Tens of millions of people in this country are currently unemployed and relying on the enhanced unemployment benefits to get through their mortgage and bill payments, to buy medications, to buy food. This all went away as of July 31st. We are one of the victims of this because we are not able to do our tours. And so we have seen our income drop by 2/3. We do not know how we're going to be paying our bills, buying food, or anything else we need. And there are tens of millions of others in the same boat. And it is utterly reprehensible that Congress could not take action on something so very, very important to the future of this country. I'll repeat it again, the Thomas Jefferson quote. The first duty of government is the protection of life, not its destruction. Abandon that, and you have abandoned all. We have been abandoned. But enough of my rant for this morning. It's a beautiful day in the Empire. It's a bit overcast, a bit muggy, but it's actually in the upper 70s today, which is so rare for San Francisco. There's no wind at the moment. Oh, don't worry, there will be. But it's really a very nice day, and it's nice to have one because it's just been miserable here lately, which has not been helping our Imperial mood. So we're glad to see some good weather. Let's get into the show, as it normally is. Our national days today. It is National Creamsicle Day. That sounds great. National Wiffle Ball Day. Maybe a good day to play it with masks and social distancing, of course. And National Navajo Code Talkers Day. Their codes during World War II were instrumental in the conclusion of the war using the Navajo language. And it was proclaimed a national day in 1982. We owe so much to not just the Navajo code talkers, but the many other tribes who did code talking. I know certainly the Choctaw during World War I. We owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to our Native Americans for helping us get through the war and hastening its end. I believe that's the right way to put that. Anyway, helping the war come to a conclusion sooner. So hats off to the Navajo code talkers and all Native American tribes who helped us get through the wars by using their languages. Our San Francisco story today does not rely on John Ralston's book, because on this date in 1925, the first hydropower was delivered to San Francisco with the completion of the Moccasin Powerhouse, fed by the Hetchy Dam through the canyon and mountain tunnels. The O'Shaughnessy Dam, as it is known, is a 430-foot high concrete arch gravity dam in Tuolumne County, California, in the United States. It impounds the Tuolumne River, forming the Hetchy Reservoir at the lower end of the Hetchy Valley in Yosemite National Park, about 160 miles east of San Francisco. The dam and reservoir are the source of the Hetchy Aqueduct, which provides water for over 2 million people in the San Francisco and other municipalities of the West Bay area. The dam is named for engineer Michael O'Shaughnessy, who oversaw its construction. Although San Francisco had sought Tuolumne River water as early as the 1890s, this project did not move forward until the disastrous earthquake and fire of 1906, which underscored the insufficiency of existing water supply. The Hetchy Valley, then compared to the Yosemite Valley for its scenic beauty, was chosen for its water quality and hydroelectric potential, but the location within the national park generated controversy. An act of Congress was required to circumvent federal protection of the Tuolumne River, with the reasoning that public land should be developed for the public benefit. Construction of the dam started in 1919 and was finished in 1923, the first water delivered in 1934 after numerous delays. From 1935 to 1938, the dam was raised to increase its capacity for water supply and power generation. The dam, aqueduct, and appurtenant, there's a new word, hydroelectric systems are collectively known as the Hetchy Project. Deriving from a largely wild and pristine area of the Sierra Nevada, the Hetchy supply is some of the cleanest municipal water in the U.S., this is true, requiring only primary filtration and disinfection. Hetchy represented the first great environmental controversy in the U.S. The debate over the dam and reservoir continues to this day. Preservationist groups such as the Sierra Club lobby for the restoration of the valley, while others argue that leaving the dam in place would be the better economic and environmental precision. If you ever come to San Francisco, you don't have to buy bottled water. You can drink it right out of the tap. It's delicious. Our other stories for today. In 1846, Henry David Thoreau was jailed for refusing to pay taxes. Wait, let's go back a little bit because we forgot something for today. Where is it? Oh, yes. Our Florida man story. We'll get back to the other stories in just a moment. Sorry about that. Oh dear, screaming child. Florida man threatened to off someone over argument about remote controlled car. Well, there you go. So as we said, Henry David Thoreau was jailed for refusing to pay taxes. In 1846, 1907, Hatikvah, the Hope, is adopted as the official Zionist hymn, becomes the national anthem of Israel with its establishment in 1948. 1935, Social Security Act, oh dear, becomes law. We are very close to collecting Social Security, which is now, of course, being threatened by the current administration. March 15, oh dear, we are so sorry about that, 2022 is when we can collect Social Security. 1937, the Appalachian Trail is formally completed, traversing 2,000 miles in 14 U.S. states from Georgia to Maine. Just ask Mark Sanford. 1945, VJ Day. Japan surrenders unconditionally to end World War II. Happy VJ Day. Our births today. 1851, Doc Holliday, American gambler, dentist, and gunfighter, famous for the gunfight at the OK Corral. 1888, John Logie Baird, Scottish inventor and co-father, it says father here, co-father of television, the other one being Philo Farnsworth here in San Francisco. When we were working as a tour guide and telling that story, we would also always have to make sure we said co-inventor for Philo T. Farnsworth, because when we got people from the UK on the bus or on the walking tour, we would get objections. So yes, they co-invented it. Two similar systems for accomplishing the same thing. It was invented here in San Francisco in his laboratory on Green Street. There is a plaque commemorating it. We're pretty sure we can get a picture up of that. So if you've never seen it, it's not Green Street. I think it is Green Street. I'll look that up and put a correction. I'm sorry I didn't look that up in advance. Oops. Okay. 1947, the birth of Danielle Steele, the romance novel author, who owns the Spreckles Mansion. We'll talk about Alma Spreckles and Klaus Spreckles, Adolf, on some other date. 1940, Dash Crofts, American musician, Seals and Crofts, Summer Breeze. 1941, David Crosby, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. 1946, actor Suzanne St. James, loved her in Kate and Alley, and Jane Curtin's coming back with a new series, glad to see. 1950, birthday of Gary Larson, American cartoonist of The Far Side, which is back. Go onto his website. And he's producing new panels. He's doing things a little bit differently, doing completely electronically now. And he's posted one, and I'm hoping he will post more in the future because, wow, do we ever miss The Far Side. Our deaths today, and it's odd because I think we just reported his birth a couple days ago. Admiral David Farragut, who said, "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead." There you go. Charles Crocker, 1888, American business tycoon, railroad executive. One of the big four who built the Transcontinental Railroad. He also built a beautiful mansion on Nob Hill that burned down in 1906. It is now the location of Grace Cathedral. The land was donated by his widow. And he's also famous for the spite fence. He wanted to buy up the entire block where his mansion was. One person refused to sell, built a tall fence around him to block his view. But the gentleman was an undertaker, put a coffin on his roof. So whenever Crocker had to look out to see his view, he'd see that coffin down there. Love that story. There's a lot more to it. We'll go ahead and get into that someday if we can find the anniversary of it. It's one of our favorite San Francisco stories, the Spite Fence. Well, moving on. 1913, Josephine Cochran, American inventor of the automatic dishwasher. We owe her a lot. 1951, William Randolph Hearst, American newspaper publisher, San Francisco Examiner, passes away. It's reported his last words were Rosebud. 1956, German poet and playwright Bertolt Brecht passed away. 1958, Mama, Gladys Presley, the mother of Elvis, dies at the age of 46. I don't think he ever got over that. 1963, Clifford Odets, American playwright. He won the Award of Merit for writing Golden Boy. Got that award in 1961. 1969, Leonard Woolf, English author and husband of Virginia Woolf. I guess he was afraid of her. 1972, pianist, actor Oscar Levant, great friend of George Gershwin. And 1992, John Sirica, the U.S. federal judge in the Watergate cases. Well, that wraps it up for today. Now, don't forget, we are accepting tips. This is becoming quite important with the cutoff of unemployment benefits. So there's the information there. If you want to do that, you can make a subscription donation via Patreon or use our PayPal for a one-time donation. We greatly appreciate our generous donors. We cannot get through this without you, especially right now. Also, if you want to learn more about the tours the Countess and I used to do and will hopefully be doing more in the future, sftimemachine.com. That's a splash page for our various tours like Emperor Norton's Fantastic San Francisco Time Machine, Drag Me Along Tours, San Francisco Food Safari. Click on any of the more info buttons, takes you to each individual website. There you will find a lot of historical information as well as descriptions of the tours, which we hope we can start doing again. Article came out yesterday saying that our hospitality industry in San Francisco, our number one industry, is not expected to fully recover until 2025. So let's hope that things go better than that. That's not very encouraging, is it? No. Forgot the usual outro. So until we see you again, stay safe, stay inside, stay healthy. If you do go outside, wear a damn mask. The number one thing you can do to prevent transmitting this disease is to wear a mask. There is no excuse anymore for not wearing a mask. You're murderers if you're not wearing a mask. You're responsible for death. Hope you can live with yourselves. I don't think any of those people watch this vlog, though. Don't take unproven cures, in case we didn't say that already. And be kind to one another. So many of the problems we're having right now would be so much better if we just showed some kindness. Simple human kindness is something that we seem to have forgotten about. Until we see you again. Oh, one more thing. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for our usual episode on Saturday with our superstar, the Countess Lola Montez of Lansfeld. Always entertaining, always has a joke. Won't say if it's good or bad. And until we see you again, a gracious good day.